Hey, what's up, folks? How you doing? So, like I said in a short reel I just put out, today I want to get out a lot of content just to wrap up 2024. I already did a video some weeks back where I was talking about stuff not to carry in 2025. And I talked about some plans I have for cafeteria science for 2025. So I won't go into all those details in this particular video. In this one, I just want to talk about some of my favorite articles, at least articles that strike me as favorites in 2024, articles that I published on different websites, primarily Substack and Medium, because my WordPress account is pretty old. It's old stuff. So my primary focus is going to be my Substack and my Medium. If you haven't read any of those articles, I implore you to read, to do just that. These articles are basically a ground for some of the best conversations that we can possibly have. But before I get into it, I'm wearing an antique. This used to be Dad's coat, you know? Yeah. And I like to believe it has a notable story behind it. Probably he got it from the land of daggers. You know, I'm just saying. So let's get into it. I wanted to start with an article that's not primarily a 2024 article, but a 2023 article, because it's a special one for me. It's a special story. And what I like about it is not necessarily the story I was describing, but the way in which I wrote it. I feel like I was in quite a poetic mood this day when I was writing this. I was like, oh shit, I gotta talk about this, you know what I mean? So the article is on my Medium. It's called When Stars Showed Face. What I was basically talking about in the article was this one time we had a car breakdown with my mates on our way to Ndola for the trade fair. And in the middle of the night, without the pollution of city lights, I saw the sky in all its majesty. It was an amazing sight. So that's primarily what I was describing in the article. And I would like to read it for you because it's pretty short. So it goes something like this. I always, in some arguably ill-fated manner, spend 90% of my time in the city of lights. The nights that cast a shade on my ordinary gaze are beaten into submission by a huge parade of streetlights, well-lit buildings, and the endless car lights from Lusaka's traffic storms. But this one time, when I was part of a team who experienced a car breakdown in the middle of nowhere, I got a chance to see something my eyes have only seen on my phone screen. The vehicle that was driving us to a land of opportunity broke down just a few meters past Munyumbi Toll Plaza. It was a complete hopeless situation, so we opted to push our wrecked aircraft out of the fast-paced highway leading to Kapiri, slightly towards the east swath of forest land. As midnight started creeping in, with a gradual ease that drove daggers down our spines, my mates and I realized we couldn't grace this night in the monstrous land of oblivion sober. So we stepped out into the cold. I could feel the tip of my fingertips stiffen up with the midnight breeze, but we surged on, walking into a town adorned with rural settlements spaced about by forest land. Then we landed upon a little place with happy singing faces, and we knew almost instantly that we had found the place where beverages reside. Just a few steps from the door, we saw what seemed to be a brazen plate of dusted up goat meat, and well, we did the honors. We soaked up on that holy water until the cold that ravished our bones began to dance to the tune of the methanol and the ethanol that was running through our bloodstream. But here's the moral of the story. While walking down, I stood on that highway leading to Kapiri with no car in sight. And right before my eyes, I saw the night sky in all its might. I saw the majesty of starlight without the pollution of city lights. And instantly my soul reconnected with its place in the cosmos. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, if you ask me. You know? Okay, let me stop being dramatic. But yeah, I was filled with a surge of emotions. That was a crazy feeling, you know? Okay, so while I'm still on Medium, a 2024 article that I published on Medium is called Blackbirds of Authenticity. In this article, I was basically taking a jab at who's this guy? Who's this prominent journalist this prominent journalist who works for, if I'm not mistaken, Diamond TV. What was his name? Something like Buoa or something like that. I don't even know, man. So yeah, he was basically he was constantly putting out all these little sarcastic remarks about the advent of ChatGPT and the use of AI, you know, in a way that was trying to trivialize the contribution of AI to human intelligence. He was basically one of those people that were parroting the idea that AI is just here to kind of like stroke our sort of like low resolution intelligence. You know, I was like, dude, you're missing the whole point of this thing. It's not supposed to make you lazy. It's complementary to human intellect. It's basically a manifestation of efficient work. You know what I mean? So he didn't see it like that, and I was just put off. And because I was put off primarily because these were a lot of the sentiments that were going around Facebook. So I decided to write an article about it. I'll just read you a few paragraphs just to show you. I was like vexed, you know. So it starts something like, so I have just seen a Facebook post by a Zambian locally celebrated journalist who remarked, "I'm sick and tired of AI-generated comments and articles." Then almost in a mildly hubristic manner threw in a fictitious concern-laden retort. "Have people thrown away their heads?" Instantly, I saw this for exactly what it is. Here, let me break it down for you. Just a few sunsets ago, when OpenAI released ChatGPT, many writers, myself included, felt some type of way about what was going to constitute authentic authorship and mastery of the pen, simply because with the advent of ChatGPT, it was almost as if we writers could no longer be so covetous about writing. The ground was leveled in an off-putting manner. You could simply punch in a few prompts and you have a whole article about whatever topic, stamp your name on it and post it widely on every platform, and just like that, you too are a skilled writer. I can certainly give it to you that this is a genuine concern for authors, artists, and even lecturers. I can also admit that AI tools can be and are being needlessly abused, and people are sort of using them in an automated fashion with almost no mental fuel to burn. However, here's where comments and remarks like the one that the guy just made in my introduction missed the point altogether. Such comments are almost implicitly mounted on the idea that intellectual authenticity, in a sense, should be utterly detached from the utilization of AI writing tools. Almost as if it's purely black and white, like it's either you did the writing or a chatbot simply did it for you, and thus deserves no credit whatsoever. And then fast forward to the last paragraph, I can't read everything. It goes something like, I concluded by saying, "I know you're feeling like you are floating on the edge of an existential crisis as a writer, poet, or a singer in the edge of complex and diverse AI tools. But the minute you stop seeing AI as the defilement of human intellect and authenticity, but rather as complementary in a fluid fashion to that very human intellect and authenticity, it is when you have some peace of mind and cease punching against an inevitable trajectory in an ever-expanding technological digital space." So you should read the article. I ranted on and on and on and on and on and on. I think it summed up the point I was trying to put across. So let's move to my Substack. Yeah, if you don't follow me on Substack, I think you should. I read some of the best articles there. And in my description, I say something like, "What's up? I am Seraph, a Zambian-born writer with a media and communication degree. I dig into science, philosophy, and life's sentimental quirks. Here for some deep dives, light laughs, and opinionated musings." Opinionated indeed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So some of my best articles in 2024 for my Substack include articles such as this one titled Adam and Eve. Let me just open it up. So titled Adam and Eve, Fashionably Late to the Human Race. So basically what I was arguing in this article is Adam and Eve cannot possibly be the first humans as parroted by the Bible. It's just lies. And the fossil record shatters this whole misinformed story, you know? So that's primarily what I was getting to in this article. I offered a couple of evidences and I was pretty smug and sarcastic in this one because, hey, never a bad day to poke holes. Let me read you the first paragraph. Pretty funny. You know the story, right? God, apparently in his very creative mood, grabs some dirt and says, "Let's make a guy out of this." Boom, there is Adam. But then Adam gets bored because, of course, a paradise full of animals and no traffic jams like the ones we see in Lusaka wasn't enough. So God decides to take a rib from Adam's side and ta-da! Eve appears. They frolic around in the Garden of Eden, eat some forbidden fruits because apparently you can't tell humans not to do something without guaranteeing they will do it. And now here we are, thousands of years later, paying taxes and dealing with rush hour as well as crazy relationships. But here's where things get interesting. Turns out they might not have been the first humans after all. I know, shocking. I mean, who would have thought a story involving a talking snake and a magical fruit might not be the most historically accurate representation of human origins? So go read the article. It's a pretty amazing article. Another favorite is, where's that? Let me go back to my dashboard. Another one is called The Bible's Fallibility. I think this one is also like my favorite. The Bible's Fallibility, a human creation, not divine revelation. So here, basically what I was arguing for is that the Bible has a lot of stuff that just looked like it was, a cop-out for humans as opposed to like divine inspiration. I was basically just taking a jab at the Bible being like, inspired by a supernatural being. So the first paragraph reads something like, the Bible has been around for millennia, offering guidance, morality, and answers to life's big questions, at least for those content to stop asking them after ancient scribes put will to parchment. But here's the problem. While the Bible has maintained its authority in all things spiritual, it hasn't fared so well when it comes to explaining the physical world. Once people believed its every word. Now, thanks to the constant meddling of science, it's been proven wrong time and again. How so? Read the article. You're going to know how so, man. Yeah. And then my other favorite is another Bible one. So this one's called The Bible's Bizarre Sexual Blunders. It's called The Bible's Bizarre Sexual Blunders. Did this stuff end up in a sacred book? That's the subtitle. So in this one, basically what I was bringing out was these stories that I used to stumble upon when I was a Jehovah's Witness because I used to do a lot of Bible reading. Me and my friend had a goal, like to practically finish the Bible. So in January, you open the year, you read like 5 chapters every day. Like you start Genesis. You read 5 chapters every day, 5 chapters every day, 5 chapters. And it's a goal that most Jehovah's Witnesses actually follow through. And some have actually read that Bible, the whole lot of it, So yeah, it's a pretty doable project. You read it chronologically, yeah. So when I started doing that project with my friend, I used to stumble upon some uncomfortable stories. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, those days I'll just brush them off like Jehovah knows best. But in this article, I was basically trying to like highlight some of them. Let me read you just one favorite. Yeah. So the first paragraph reads something like, the Bible, often held as the ultimate guide to morality, spirituality, enlightenment, and wholesome family values. It's the book that's supposed to set the ethical bar for humanity, a bastion of holiness. But wait, what's this? Buried among all those commandments, psalms, and parables are some real gems. The kind of verses that make you question whether this was a divine revelation or just the result of someone having way too much wine in the desert. Okay, so let me read you ones that really put me off. I won't do the Lot and his daughter one. It's like it all. I won't do the rape, marriage proposal, gang rape, murder, and dismemberment. Yeah, this one was like the most creepy of these silly verses. So this one goes something like, this one's in Judges 19, verse 22 to 29. It reads something like, here's my verse. So I quoted a verse as I was opening up this whole thing. So the verse reads something like, here's my virgin daughter and his concubine. I will bring them out to you now, and you can use them and do to them whatever you wish. But to this man, don't do such an outrageous thing. And let me just tell you this is like really triggering shit. Like, I don't know, man. Some of this stuff, I just read it to trigger myself. Then I just feel upset, and then I drink some alcohol. You know what I mean? I just do it. Wait, let me try to do the Trump voice. Some of these things, I just read them so that I can trigger myself, fall asleep angry, and wake up with a reason to hit all of this shit. It's simple, folks. It's that simple. Okay, jokes aside. So, it reads something like this. In one of the darkest, most disturbing stories in the Bible, we are introduced to a man whose idea of hospitality is to offer up his virgin daughter and a concubine to a crowd of violent men who are demanding to rape his male guest. So these are some gay-ass motherfuckers, and they want to rape his guest. Then this dude offers his own daughter and a concubine. Yes, you read that correctly. Instead of standing up to the mob or offering some form of real protection, this guy says, hey, take the women instead. They are disposable. The concubine is gang raped and left for dead. The next morning, her master, notice, he's not called her husband or even partner, just her owner, you know what I mean? This nigga owns this girl, finds her lifeless body, and instead of mourning or seeking justice, nigga decides to cut her into 12 pieces and sends the parts across Israel to make a point. If this story makes you feel like you need a shower, you're not alone, my guy. And to think this is a book people consider the foundation of law and morality, hogwash. Hogwash. Anyway, read the article. There's a bunch of such surprising stuff. Pretty triggering article, if you ask me. And then my other favorite is this one I wrote on veganism. I think I even did a video. It's called Ethical Veganism. So basically what I was saying there is arguing that we should all be vegans, you know. I should be vegan too. I even admitted in my previous video that ethical veganism is true. And I'm a hypocrite. I just feel like I've seen all the arguments, I've read all the arguments, but the jump from making such a huge life decision, I feel it's not easy, man. It's really not easy. I don't have any argument not to give up eating goat meat. But here we are. It's a shameful thing to even say. So yeah, the article is about veganism and you can check it out. Let me know what you think. And lastly, my favorite article is we're going to give it to okay, we're going to give it to this one, A Bond That Defies Logic. Yep. So this article basically talks about a close friend of mine. I don't even understand our friendship because this guy is way older than me. I just don't know how we even click. Yeah. This guy is one of the coolest friendships I've made in 2024. Yeah. And in the article, I was basically talking about how he kind of reminds me of my late brother, Laz One. So I feel like they have the same personality, they have the same demeanor, same sense of humor. And in that friendship, I kind of feel like I got back something I deeply lost and wasn't ready to, accept that I did. Yeah. So let me just read you, the first two paragraphs. Life is a chaotic cocktail of unexpected friendships, and every now and then it throws a curveball so surprising that you find yourself both confused and deeply grateful. That's exactly how I describe my friendship with this guy. Honestly, when we first crossed paths, I wasn't sure whether to punch him or ignore him. There was mistrust, indifference, and that sinking feeling of, do I really have to deal with this character? But here we are today, laughing in the face of that rocky start, because somehow, despite the odds, we have become inseparable. And let me tell you this. And let me tell you, this guy isn't just your regular buddy. He's a living paradox, a walking, talking oxymoron of a man, the funniest mess of humanity I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Let's get one thing straight. He is far from perfect. This man runs his mouth in all the wrong places you could possibly imagine. He doesn't just speak before thinking, he speaks before breathing. His hands figuratively and literally, are always touching fire, and he has a knack for finding trouble like it owes him money. Self-centered, yes, sometimes. Insensitive or absolutely crooked. Well, let's just say his moral compass occasionally takes scenic detours. So yeah, read the article, check it out, let me know what you think. These are some of my favorite articles of 2024. I'm really appreciative to people that actually read and engage in these articles. I've complained to people in my life, you don't even read my shit. You don't even know me. You don't know what I write. You don't know what I talk about. All you want to do is just complain about stuff that I don't even care about. But I feel like my content is not easy content, and I understand people if they're a bit indifferent about it. So my only goal, remember, is to just simply propagate a love for science and philosophy. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm still putting out more videos. Let's go to the next video, shall we?